But I want to just toss it over to my good friend Ricco Wright, who's joined us and who we're going to delve in with him on some of the challenges that we're facing, not just in the country, but the challenges that he's facing in Tulsa and the challenge he's going to face next week in Tulsa. So Ricco, thank you for joining us. Why don't you take just a minute and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Anyway, I first want to say thank you, Elvin, for having me on, Roy and Ian, DJ, you know what I'm saying? I love that you mentioned that about music. I'm very much interested in music, particularly like Black music and the history of Black music and how it's been through Negro spirituals all the way to hip hop. That's been where we've used our voice and we continue using our voice. So shout out to all of the brothers here. I'm a Tulsa native, born and raised, grew up in utter poverty here in Tulsa. You know, growing up, we didn't learn about the history of Black Wall Street. We didn't learn about the history of the massacre because they kept it out of the curriculum. White people were ashamed to talk about it. Black people were tired of dealing in the trauma. So, you know, I found myself in the context of just trying to get by year after year. Ended up graduating from high school, became a first generation college student, landed a Bill Gates scholarship, and then became a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. Suddenly I'm in all of these different cultural contexts, right? I'm hanging around cats who have books in their homes. I had Slam magazine, and my aspirations were to be like Allen Iverson, and they were really like educating themselves in high school. They read Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison in high school. Like I didn't, you know? So I'm coming of age now that I'm a college brother. Ended up doing an internship with the fraternity, and Elvin was my supervisor. Now, I don't know how much time we got to delve into that, but I'll say this. I disliked him. I disliked him strongly at the time, right? Because I didn't understand the mathematics nor the science with which he was operating. Today, I understand. We're talking 20 years later, you know what I mean? So you never know how a person is going to plant a seed in your life, but that tough love really sharpened me. It got me ready for New York. I went on to Columbia and did some tremendous things, you know, in contexts where I hadn't necessarily been. So imagine being the only Black student in mathematics courses and philosophy courses where the expectation is that you cannot succeed. Well, I'm like, okay, that experience I had, I grew from that, like being an intern. So by the time I got to New York, like I wasn't looking for any kind of comfort. Like I knew I could have that within.